And we're back, and we got with us Mitch1955, I believe from, I don't want to get this wrong, Geek TV with Mitch. Is that right?
It was Geek Talk with Mitch on Ustream, but I'm switching to Justin. Justin TV. It would be Justin TV. Justin.
I've seen you on a few times. I mean, on JTV. How long have you been doing it on Ustream for?
I was just looking at that today. It's like almost just about 3 years.
Oh, wow.
No set schedule or anything. I was trying to do stuff on Fridays for a while, like a year ago, but it's mainly me messing around. And then if people call me up, join me up,
Oh, so yeah, you've been doing it about probably a year and a half longer than I have.
3 years that I joined Ustream.
Okay, well, what decided to kind of move to JTV? I know you mentioned you seem to like it a little bit better, but yeah. See, what I always forget to do that. I make a new shot in Wirecast, and I always forget because I'm used to it the old style, which is globally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. See, now you're in there now, and I do it almost every time. I hate that. Oh well. And we got Gemmers. How you doing there, Gemmers? We're gonna probably talk on different topics, and I think one of the things now, I know when you were broadcasting earlier, you just got the new Logitech C910, I believe that's what it was.
Correct. Yeah. Well, they've been on sale lately, and Newegg had a real good deal earlier this week, but it passed by, and I waited too long. But I still got it at a pretty decent price at my local Staples. It was $100 with a $20 rebate, mail-in rebate, or you could do it online. And also I had a 15% coupon that I got in the email. So I used that. So it'll be like $70 once I get the rebate back. So, and it's, I'm real satisfied with it. And now, when you install these Logitech webcams, they have their own software. And this does 1080, of course, within its software, not on Skype. But anyway, I was playing around with that. I was really impressed. It was really, really good quality.
Well, to me, I don't think there's really another brand, a better webcam out there, at least USB 2, than Logitech. I'm not really aware of some of the other brands, but I know with the 9000, the Vision Pro, and now the C910 versions are really, really good.
Right. Yeah. Now I have two Webcam Pro 9000s, and I'm real happy with. But it's just like I have this, I don't know, fetish, or every time a webcam comes out, I want to get it if it's not, overly too expensive. So this was a pretty good deal.
Well, I think the 9000 series, I think now they're actually coming down in price. Originally they were like $100, and then I think over time when they come out with a new C910s, and I think they reduced the price down to like $80, even perhaps less if you get maybe on sale or something.
Yeah, I've seen it. Well, this was 100, and then I've seen it on sale for $100. But like lately, they've been offering these rebates, so I think I did all right.
I'm trying to think too. Now, I also remember, I even checked, because I was talking to you early today, and I was sure they had a new version for Mac of the C910, and I did check it today, and they do have it. I mean, I don't really know much about it.
Right.
And originally, I was using the Vision Pro for Mac. That's the the Mac version of the 9000, which would be for Windows.
Right.
And now originally I was using the Vision Pro, and if the conditions are right for Mac, it doesn't seem quite as good as it's on Windows, and I think drivers have something to do with it as well.
What are you using right now? You're using a digital camera right now, or
well, I decided to make a switch because if the conditions are right, I mean, actually the Vision Pro is very good. It's almost like having a camcorder through FireWire or something like that. But the video was just, over time, it was just unstable. I don't know if it was because, well, I had it for maybe 6 to 8 months, but then I've been noticing it white out occasionally. If you walk in front of it, it'd try to refocus, but then, when you walk away, it would just be blurry and it wouldn't refocus. So I just decided, to switch, to a better solution. And I really did some research, and I figured the best route to go was just switch to all camcorders. And I kind of decided with the HDMI. I know the FireWire has been out for a while, but it's getting harder to find camcorders with FireWire. It seems to be going to HDMI, and then into two separate capture cards. And I'm really happy with it because now, I've always got good, stable video. It doesn't change, at least going into the computer. What happens?
You're using HDMI?
Yeah, I'm using HDMI right now, yes.
And how does that connect to your computer? You have an yeah. How does that work? Because I have a video card that has HDMI, but that's out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what you got to do is now some computers, they do have like HDMI connections, but they're mostly for out to a TV.
Right.
But so I did have to spend some money. I got the Blackmagic Pro Extreme, I think, or something like that, and for each camera, and then input it that way.
Okay.
And if it wasn't for the problems with the USB 2 cameras, I probably would have just stayed with them. But it was just too
unstable.
Too unstable. So I was like, well, let me just make the switch, and and I'm glad I did, because now I never have to worry about not working.
I have an old just Samsung digital camera. It's a SD D363. Now this is FireWire. I don't know if you can see it on here. And I have used that. It will do FireWire and USB. And actually, it was a decent picture. But I haven't used it in over a year. It was good, but it, like with the move, like when you're moving around with a Logitech webcam, one of these better ones, you don't get the streakiness. And I think I got a little bit of that with the Samsung camera. But other than that, it was pretty decent, for using it as a webcam.
Yeah, like I said, I think it had to do with just the drivers or something in Mac. It always seemed like that most webcams are better, in a Windows environment. Now, I did a lot of research on the Vision Pro and the 9000 Pro, and I did notice. Hi there, Uncle Al just came in the chat room. That the Vision Pro version, and I did a lot of reading in their forums, and often the I guess the technicians or whatever, they answer some questions, and it turns out that the Vision Pro actually has a lot of their stuff built into the hardware, which is the automatic focusing, and also the I think they call it light right technology. It adjusts for low light conditions, and that was supposedly built into the Vision Pro. Now the 9000 didn't have that. Supposedly it does it through drivers, and supposedly they're going to go with the 9000. They're going to originally build that in also to the 9000 series. But I haven't really kept up with it since then. But yet it still seems that the Windows seems a whole lot better. I don't know why, if it's the drivers or whatever.
Yeah, but I know if you got a FireWire camcorder that work, or in your case HDMI, they normally do work pretty well.
Yeah, I have to admit that as well. Plus, it seems like most computers I think now have usually some kind of FireWire. At least the Macs do, and well, I'm not 100% sure on all the Windows if they do now. Now the Sonys do. The Sony. But I think now it's going towards the HDMI. It seems a little bit away from the FireWire, I guess. Oh, okay. I thought the video went down. Skype.
Now I'm trying to make myself invisible so people don't call me because you'll hear it.
Yeah, I had the same problem. You got to always be invisible because I'd be like during the show, and then all of a sudden I get like a bunch of calls, and that'd be a bad thing. So, and so now I think you also said that I guess you were kind of like a late bloomer, and I was, because I started about the same time you did in 1995.
Yeah, I never touched a computer until then. I'll tell you the first computer we got. It was a Packard Bell. It was 120 megahertz, 3 gigabytes on the hard drive, and I think it was 32 megabytes of memory. And it was Windows 95, of course. And I can remember booting that up. It booted to a beautiful blue screen right off the bat. And, we're freaking out, not knowing anything about computers. We're on the phone with tech support. And can you believe we had to reinstall it right out of the box?
It's so beautiful, and then it goes down.
Right.
I don't know. I thought, well, actually, you really think about it. For Microsoft, that was like the biggest thing, because that's when the GUI really started going on to the home market. I mean, yeah, they had what was that, Windows 3.1, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
But that was really, the biggest thing, for the home user.
Right.
And then, well, let me see. Then they came out with, of course, I had the B version, which is,
yeah, that was like the B version. I think it came out before '98, which I'm not sure what the B version did, but bug fixes, I don't know about that.
I do remember a few things with the B version, and one of them was that it actually had support, I think, for USB, but you had to put in the drivers. It wasn't put in by default, I think.
Yeah, and I think my Windows 95 machine, I'm pretty sure there was they didn't have any USB ports on it at all, the Packard Bell.
And well, I'm pulling this from years and years ago, and I think another one was a support for. I'm trying to think of the file system. Oh my gosh, it's been so long ago.
FAT.
Maybe it was FAT32.
FAT 16 to FAT 32.
Yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh, I think I had an aneurysm pulling that out. I think.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it just popped in my head.
And of course, I think with the FAT32, I think I can't remember if it allowed for bigger file system.
Chunks of file, the way it wrote to the disk. I can't remember from what to what. I know FAT is file allocation tables. I can remember that. All that stuff I don't remember though. You could quiz me on that stuff now. I would never get it right.
Now I remember my first computer. Can you use FAT32? I think you can. You can actually use quite a few file systems. Off the bat, I think FAT32 is supported. And, if you put a USB stick and it has it on it. I think it even supports NTFS as well. At first it didn't. You could only read. and you couldn't write. And then I think a little bit later down the line, you could actually write to NTFS as well. And ext2 supported. Now it's ext3, I think. I don't know. Right. Wait a minute. Do they have 4 out? I can't remember. I think it's 3. I don't know.
It's at least 3.
Oops, wrong shot. I'm sorry.
Like I said, I was messing around with Linux, but not in the last 3 weeks at least.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is ext4. Oh my gosh. Had another aneurysm trying to think that up.
And what's so good about that? Is that a journalistic? Is that the right pronunciation? The file system?
You know what? I don't know. I think that's still different.
Yes, somebody's going to post it in the chat room, and I don't know how much better that is, but everything a little bit I do hear people talking about it is better. But I'm sure somebody will put in the chat room why it is better.
Okay, it is journalized. I didn't really realize that actually. Ever since I've been doing shows, I mean, it kind of put me behind on some of the Linux stuff because for the last 12 years, it gave me more time to actually, hack into it and stuff like that. But now I got to think of things generally instead of specifically, so it's kind of hard. I know before when they had ext3, and you install like Linux, and a lot of times they give you like a kind of give you a choice. I think they had like you could use some kind of journalized system or something like that, other than ext3, or maybe it was ext2. I can't remember.
And maybe Carlo Brown can answer this. Now, I think one of the benefits of that is it's better at keeping your data. In other words, it could be doing the same thing on a Windows system composed to a journalist file system. You're more prone to lose your data than, I think, a journalist file system. I don't know the technology behind it. That's what I need to get caught up on. But I think it has something to do with that. They're better than, more robust than Windows file systems.
And let me say this before I totally forget. And I was trying to remember this last show, and I was trying to think the name of the new Windows 7 file system. I think it's WinFS. I don't know. Is that right?
That they're using now, or it's going to be used in a future?
Oh, maybe they haven't implemented it. Because supposedly I heard, I know before like Vista they were using NTFS still, and supposedly they're going to use this a newer file system, which is I think it was WinFS.
Well, we're still using NTFS. I'm on a Windows 7 machine right now.
But I think I admit I'm kind of one of the advantages, I know with Linux and Mac is their file system, because you don't have to worry about defragmentation as much. And, okay, that's what Carl put down as well. So now I think that's like I think there's like a limitation on that. I think it's like 20 megs and below or something like that. Now at least with Mac, I'm not sure about Linux, but.
Yeah, that's what NTF stands for.
You know what? I never really thought what it stands for. I admit, some of these acronyms.
I remember some of them. Most of them I don't, because I took the A+ back in 2001, which is 11 years ago now. And I think the test was based on like Windows 98, 95.
Well, it took me forever just to remember the acronym PCMCIA. It took.
Let me see if I can hear it.
Let alone
personal computer memory personal computer memory interface. No,
it's hard, isn't it?
Right.
Well, see, they went to something else now. They, it used to be PCMCIA, and then they went to another standard, and I couldn't tell you what it is.
There's little laptop cards, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a new standard now. It's it went to
all the newer PCs out. It's called something Express.
PC Express. PCI Express. No, that's
the new one. You got these connection ports on these newer laptops. Or
yeah, they're like little, plug-in cards.
Right. Actually, I got a Toshiba laptop for Christmas. My wife bought me, and it has a dual port, meaning I can use it as USB or a SATA port, one or the other, on the same port.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. Now I think they call it eSATA, right? Is that what? Did you?
Yeah, eSATA, correct.
And I'm kind of wondering too as well. Supposedly they're going to come out like with USB 3.
Yeah, it's got some. I don't know the specs offhand, but it's got some incredible speed with USB 3.
Now I think it was something with Intel that they didn't officially support it yet. Perhaps that's why some or something like that. That's why it wasn't implemented faster. It seems to be, there's some out there that use USB 3, but oh, okay, so it does. Okay, maybe I looked at old. Oh, we got Vulcan. Is that
Brian? Is that Brian Vulcan? He's a real hard drive expert in here.
Yeah, stay in the chat room. We're going to need you a lot.
He knows his stuff. So you can ask him some questions.
Yeah, we need you. Hey, don't leave the chat room there, Brian. So.
He's a gamer, I believe.
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
I'm not. I don't game, but.
So Intel, they developed USB 3. Okay, I must have got some bogus information somewhere.
I mean, you just imagine where we were and where we're going. I mean, in a few years, I mean, the prices, I was telling you, I had that Packer Bell in 1995. I think we paid $1,200 for it. And for that same kind of money, you could get, something 10 times more powerful today than what you could back then.
And now this is interesting. He says that, let me turn on my headphones here. That the new Intel Sandy Bridge motherboards include USB 3 as standard. That's good. And well, he also mentioned SATA 6 gigabit.
Yeah, my next one will be that. I always try to get stuff below, like a year from now. I guess the Sandy Bridge just came out, I believe, and I'll wait until a year from now. Now, the next thing comes out, and that will drop down a little bit in price. Because all my main systems, my 2 quad cores here, they're the older 775s, so that's a little older technology than what's out there now.
Now, what I was very interested in, and it's probably going to be a while before it's implemented, but the Light Peak, which was, I think, originally. Something like Apple came up with the idea and gave it to Intel, but now they're saying it's going to be implemented through copper. I don't know what that means exactly. I just didn't really research it, and that's going to be interesting because that's kind of like fiber optic built into the computer that it'll send information from the CPU to the graphics card and everything else. So yeah, that's why I'm guessing why they're skipping USB 3. Because they're trying to go to even a faster standard. What I believe as well. Did you ever hear of Light Peak, Mitch?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I've heard it spoke of. I can't remember where I heard it from.
And
so I'm USB 3, so that's going to that can possibly replace USB 3. And well, what's the if you know the specs? What are the difference between the specs between Light Peak and USB 3?
I think now I'm not sure the speed of USB 3, but I do know that Light Peak's supposed to get 10. Now, hopefully, I say the gigabytes or gigabits. Should be 10 gigabits per second. Mm-hmm. And for later revisions, it's supposed to go up to 100 gigabits per second, which theoretical type of thing. So, but for some reason,
if compared to USB 2, what is that? I forgot what that is. It's like
quick. Somebody somebody look up USB real quick. USB 3. I know Brian could tell us right off the top of his head. He's got everything. And well, I kind of Oh, okay. Thanks, there, Brian. 4.8. Now I think it is downgradable to USB 2 or something like that.
Now they're going to have to, for all this technology, they're going to have to make, I would think, hardware that's going to support these different protocols. I mean, assuming some things will be backward compatible, but they'll have to, the newer hardware will have to be able to communicate with these new standards.
Well, see, what I'm wondering, even with, how you doing there, Drill Proof? What I'm wondering is, with the light peak, I mean, of course, it's going to be at the speed of light, so it's got to be fast. But the only thing with that is, I mean, going between the CPU to, let's say, the graphics card or wherever, then they're going to have to slow it down and then convert it or something. And then, I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking it, and vice versa. The chat box. It's not, I think they, occasionally they have problems with, chat box, the IRC chat. It's happened on occasion, I think. But this is several weeks ago, I think. But it's not power supply. And yeah, that's true. Because if light peaks so fast, and the hard drives are going to be slowed down. Oh yeah, I forgot about SSDs there.
That will be my next toy after this. I bought the Logic at the C910 today. I think that will be my next toy. I wanted to get the SSDs to come down a little bit, less in price and a little bigger.
Now, I did have a show that I had specifically. I installed the SSD drive in my MacBook Pro, which is actually the one I'm using for chat, and which was the OWC that had the SandForce controller in it, and
OWC or OCZ?
No, not the OCZ. This is Other World Computing. It's their own brand.
Okay.
And when I installed it, I had some problems, and I think what it's turned out to be, and I'm way behind on this. I should have sent it in a long time ago, but I think it needs a new firmware update, because when it wakes from sleep, I think that's where the problems are. Sometimes I would actually get a beach ball, for a program to start up, and sometimes it'd be lightning fast, but it wasn't quite stable enough. So I'm probably gonna have to send it back to have them put a new firmware revision for the SandForce controller, because I've been doing some research on it, and it seems.
My son is using a couple different SSDs, and he's really into hardware. He's a network engineer, and he put him on his virtual machines, vSphere or VMware, the ESXi servers and stuff like that. And I believe he's using a couple of them in there. And he's not having any problems.
I have been here, well, especially with, of course, when they first came out. Now, I think it's about a 2-year-old technology. And well, to answer, I guess, Walken in there, you have to have, I believe, a Windows program to update it with. You can't do it in Mac or Linux. You have to be and I believe it's got to perhaps even have, whoops, let me switch cameras. I think it even has to have a certain file system on it, maybe. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I think it's a Windows firmware.
And yours is running fine now, Brian? Everything's fine on your end, on your SSDs?
Now, did you have problems because you mentioned you flashed it, so did you do it because you had a problem or just to update it? Or a new feature? Some people do it for new features, I guess, as well, but... And I think that's kind of, I was kind of interested in the SSDs, but okay, well, I'm just reading what Walken put in here, which he said some of the most common problems revolve around computers in sleep mode, yeah, and
but I mean, you had issues like that with hard drives, regular hard drives too, sometimes.
Fix the drive, and that kind of. I know, well, of course, I think when they first came out 2 years ago, I think that's when, of course, the major problems were, and some of them just conk out completely. I've been of course, it could be rare, I don't know, but usually the only time you hear about something is, maybe when it messes up. You never, a lot of times you don't hear people say good things about something. That you always hear the bad, it seems, perhaps.
You're exactly right. I mean, not to go off topic here, but you have your bashers, your Windows, you have your Mac bashers, your Linux bashers. Yeah, but you don't hear about the people that don't have problems.
Is there an RC room? Now, I think there's a way you can connect to the IRC chat room or to the chat room through IRC, Brian. But there's a certain way you got to do it. But you probably if you go to JTV forums, it'll tell you how to set it up. Oh, really? I thought you were pretty good at with IRC. There's like a lot of commands. And actually, people on chat helped me with them because I couldn't remember how to do it. Well, of course, this is when I first started with it.
Yeah, I always screw up. Like on certain sites, you don't need a password; it's not too difficult. But other sites, you do need a password. That's where I always screw up.
Well, see, RC chat's kind of like its own thing, really. I mean, because you can do it either through the GUI or you can type the command, the /, and you got the right. Keywords. And I still can't do it within my IRC client. I use Colloquy on Mac, and I can't. Supposedly, there's a way to change a topic in the third-party IRC chat. I never could get it to work. I had to go to their web-based chat and change it there. But I know I'm really bad at a lot of stuff. So. And
I like using. I was telling you earlier. I use this program called Ice Chat, but I'm not sure. From a little bit I read on Justin TV, it doesn't support Ice Chat. So, but I might mess with it after the show, see if I can get it to work.
And is that the only one you use, or?
I was telling you I used XChat. I think I'd have it on, like on this computer here. I can dual boot with Windows XP, and I have a VirtualBox in there, and I might have 3 or 4 different Linux distros on there that I boot up from, and I'm sure I have XChat on my Linux Mint or my Ubuntu virtual machine.
Now the XChat works pretty good within Linux with JTV. It works pretty solid. And I think they got like 2 different versions. One's the GNOME version, and one's just the regular XChat, I think. Uncle Al, yeah. I've been using Wirecast for a while, but I've been putting different. I changed the look a little bit, but
yeah, you're using Wirecast 4, and this is your shots in there. That's one of the things that was in the updated version.
Yeah, this is the 4.0.1. Well, 4.01 anyway. Well, of course, now it uses the new picture-in-picture templates. I think it's one of the things they added in there as well. Well, actually, I think you're a new Wirecast user yourself, I think, right? Mitch?
Me?
Yeah.
I've been using it for about a year.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe it's the new version then.
Yeah, I just got the new version less than a month ago. I mean, it was awful. It was horrible on Windows. I mean, a lot of people were having similar problems, and then they came out with 4.01, which it helped a lot.
I heard that as well. The Windows version. Now, I don't know if Wirecast originally started out on Mac. I kind of heard that rumor.
Was it Steve that said this? I think it was made with a Mac and ported over to Windows. I might be wrong, but I believe I heard that too.
Yeah, I think that was Steve Haywood from the Tech Buzz. Is that where you heard that? I think that's where I heard that. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I watch all his videos. I mean, there was other ones around, but he by far has some of the best videos out there.
Yeah, I actually took a look at him.
Telestream is not too good on putting out tutorials.
And I think that's the problem with ported, software. Originally it starts on one platform in some cases, and then they try to port it over to another, and there's problems. I'll give you another example, like iTunes. iTunes worked pretty good within Mac, but then when it got ported over to Windows, then that's where they had some problems. And I think there's, you know, like Windows programs getting ported over to Mac, and then there's some
Can I
problems.
say 3 words?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I hate iTunes. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
No, I'm no, because I'm always working. If I'm working, I work on PCs on the side,
Uh-huh.
and it's always somebody that's having a problem. That's one of the problems. Somebody's having a problem with iTunes, amongst other things, and that's the only time I mess with it because I won't. I'm not a music aficionado. I don't have a. I just rather just download my music. I don't need anything to manage it, but I'll play around with it just for that reason. Learn how to use it. But I guess once you get it set up right, it works. It works fine.
Now, I've been using iTunes for a while, and I have to say that I do like it. Now, I know there's a lot of people that don't, which is fine. I understand. iTunes is not for everybody because it does kind of, stick you in an ecosystem that's, you can't like put your iTunes music on a third party, device, as far as I know, unless you hack it or something.
I think now they're doing away with, somebody correct me in the chat room, they're doing away with DRM, I believe. Now, let's say if you purchase songs now, I don't think they're going to be DMR protected. So I would think you should be able to put them on anything you want, but I may be wrong.
Well, I brought this up before because I've seen that the news feeds that Apple removes DRM. I thought this has been like for a year, but somebody recently told me that it's not all their music.
Well, like what I was just saying, I just worked on a guy's computer recently. He got a new computer, so naturally he wanted all his songs from that we got off his old one, and we put it on his new one, and we didn't have any problem.
And let me see.
I guess he still has it on the old computer too.
Yeah, I was thinking like they for a long time for about a year, like it was big news, that Apple removes DRM, and then like I said, I think it was last show I had, we were talking about it, and supposedly there's a few people in there saying that it wasn't true. Now I heard that it wasn't every song, but it was. I thought it was like the majority. That's what I read also. So.
Right. Now, I assume you have an iPod, right?
Well, I used to have an iPod. Now it's my son's. I do have an iPhone, but right now I don't have any music on it. You can use that as an iPod, but.
All right. I have a Sansa clip, and I like it. But when I was using it in Linux, man, I had problems. It wouldn't show songs I had up on there, right? That I had on there that I downloaded and put on from a Windows machine. When I hooked it up to my Ubuntu box, and I think what was it called? Rhythm Box, I think it used.
Oh yeah, Rhythm Box, yeah.
Right. They wouldn't show up. I'm thinking, what is going on? I could not figure it out. Anyway, what it is, there's a setting on my SanDisk player, and I can't remember exactly what it's called. Basically, what it does, it turns on DRM and it turns it off. So I had to turn that part off to get my songs to show up in one or the other form, the way I use it. So I turned the DRM off, and then it would let me put songs on it, and then it would show up in both either Windows or Linux. But I had to go around and figure that out.
Now, there used to be, I did have a Sansa one time, and it was actually kind of nifty because I think it used some type of, embedded Linux for its, operating system. And actually had, it was cool the way it was set up, and you could actually, I think I don't know if it had a built-in radio you could stream.
Yeah, mine does.
Yeah.
Built-in radio. I mean, not radio stations, FM radio, and it's got a little recorder in there too. I've had mine for about 2 years now. I mean, I love it. It's 8 gigs, and I paid $50 for it at Walmart.
Now somebody I guess Bashmaster put in Rhapsody, and I think, doesn't Rhapsody have like unlimited downloads for like so much a month? I can't remember if it's $10 or $20 a month. And that'd be a viable option, like for people who don't like iTunes. I think they have they call it subscription service. I don't know if that's right or not, but
my form of entertainment is podcasts. I hardly listen to any music, so I just listen to all different podcasts.
Oh, so you download it to your Sansa?
Yeah, I'll download it to the computer and then push it over to my Sansa.
Let me see. It comes bundled with Rhapsody software. Okay.
Yeah, I think it came with some kind of Rhapsody thing, which I never used. I actually had it had a few songs on there, but it only works. It only works when I had it on. I think I had trouble with it once, and I had to like reformat and reinstall. When I reinstalled it, it didn't. The music was gone. It had like 4 or 5 songs on it.
Yeah, let me see. I'm trying. There was something I was going to mention about. Can't remember if it was iTunes, but let me see. Oh, so okay. Somebody just put it out in the chat room. I guess Windows 7 Service Pack 1 has just came out today. I guess. Okay, everybody run and get their first service pack. Everybody, you can see everybody disappearing out of the chat room downloading it. But.
And I'm sure it will be pushed out on the Windows updates.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. You can also do it through the update system as well.
Second Tuesday of every
Oh, let me see. What is the days? Okay. See, I don't even know what date it is. That's pretty bad. So it's been out for a little while.
One thing I like about Windows 7, if you install Windows 7, it's not that many updates. I don't know if you guys, whoever does a lot of OS reinstalling, if you do XP or even a Vista machine, you're there forever with the updates. And I have a pretty fast connection. I'm going to have to make one of those offline updater CDs with all the updates.
So you don't now. So with the now, is this with the Windows 7? You don't have nearly as much. Well, of course, it's a new operating system. Okay, that's probably why, right? Because it's a new operating system, I guess.
Yeah, it's only a little over a year old.
Oh, okay. So I guess I thought you were talking about there's like some new technology where they don't have to do as many updates or something like that. But
no, I mean I'm sure it's because it's new but like when how old is Windows XP? What 10, 11 years old? And there's if you have even with Service Pack 3, which I have a couple, I have some XP CDs with Service Pack 3 on it. There's a ton of updates afterwards, and Vista as well.
And well, actually, there's another thing I didn't really like with Windows, and I'm not bashing on Windows at all, really. But unless of course you can set this to manual, which I usually do because it always tries to install updates at the worst time possible. And so
Windows or Macs?
No, I'm talking about Windows.
Yeah, you're right.
And well, like I said, you can set that to manual, and but you'd be downloading something, and it's trying to download and install their the updates. They should. I don't know.
But people, though, these computers I work on is people. They don't want to do anything with their computers. And if you have automatic updates turned off, they wouldn't be updated.
Yeah, I just thought about that too. For most people, they don't update any of their updates, or especially virus programs. They don't update hardly unless it runs out or whatever.
Who was it? Which one are you talking about? You talking about Windows?
Yeah, Windows with the virus. The updating.
Well, I'm
the
using they're not going to update a non-Microsoft program, but I don't think. But I do use Security Essentials on several of my machines. I have it on here, and they'll come out. I mean, I think by default it's set to update like 3 o'clock in the morning, which usually I'm not on here. But it's not a big deal. I do have automatic updates on. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I'm good enough to. I'm always checking for updates anyway, manually.
I'm just reading what Carlos says. Yeah, I usually, if I was in a Windows system, I'd definitely, do it manually. That way I could, or set it automatically, like at a time that I'm not doing anything. And now, how about yourself? Because I know you earlier you mentioned you do work on computers. You do it as a part-time business or just?
Yeah, it's just on the side. I mean, yeah, I don't make any, hardly anything on it. I do it for the love more than anything. But yeah, it's always just 99.9% of the time it's some malware infection. It's very, very rarely hardware, although sometimes it is. And it's always the same deal. I mean, and I mean, my antivirus tools for software fighting. I like Super Anti-Spyware and Malwarebytes. Those are my two tools of choice. And sometimes I might have to go and use some other ones, but for the most part, they'll get rid of everything.
And now I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I know when my stepdaughter she went to Spain, and for some reason she picked up a lot of stuff. I don't know if because it's their, it's a big spam area in Spain, but she
Mm.
came back and she had some problems. So I don't think she was updating her virus scanner, and she didn't have any kind of, like for spyware or malware. So I had to download that, and oh my gosh, she had like 150, you know, um, spyware and
Here's what gets me. You know, a lot of people like Nortons. I'm not bashing Nortons right now. Um, but some of these PCs I get, they have Nortons on there. I mean, the Nortons antivirus suite on there, and if it was so good, why didn't it catch this? When I'm cleaning up. In a lot of cases, Norton's will slows down PCs, in my experience. Maybe not the newer versions of Norton's, but some of them older versions, it would just play havoc on computers.
and I used to hate the most. Now, of course, this is the earlier versions. The Norton's utility. Oh my gosh, it like completely almost take your whole computer over.
Exactly. I totally agree.
And now I don't know anything about the newest versions because this is when I was back using maybe Vista and XP, so they could be different. And I'm specifically talking about their Norton utilities and not perhaps their antivirus or anything like that. But
Well, recently I had one. I was working on one, and it had the newer version. It was like Norton's 2010, 2000, whatever, and it even said on the front of it, slim down version or something like that, and it had a graphic how much CPU usage it was using or something like that. And so I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, they're making a point to telling you that they don't use a lot of CPU resources.
and well, of course, this is back when I was using Windows 95. I think there's this guy. Trying to remember his name. Gibson. I think he does the spin right programs and
Right.
things like that. And I
And I
think he
got it to
said,
work for me for once.
"Oh, what's that?"
Spin right. I don't know if you ever used it.
Oh no, no, I never. I heard about it a lot, and I think it was him that said that um, even during the 95 XP days, that some of the coding for Norton Utilities was based on the ones that they used on. I think it was. I'm trying to remember the 286s or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's that it has some of the coding bases, I guess.
Ew.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of artifacts. I don't know if that might be Skype or. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
At least we get okay. There we go. As long as we're still getting audio coming in.
Okay. Um, Actually, I wound up taking it off of this computer. I mean, it had a firewall, and I said, "Why don't you just let me?" They were having problems. But it was their router. Actually, all I did was reset their router. Um, I said, "Let me put something on there," because it was always popping up for them to do this or do that. Very little user intervention. Let me put security Windows security attentions on. So, and they've been satisfied ever since.
And I'm trying to remember now. I know for a while there, supposedly like Norton Utilities antivirus is supposed to be, the really good one. Of course, I just hear rumors, I guess, but I'm not sure what it is now. But
Well, they are. I mean, Brian posted. I mean, like 2009 on up, they're supposed to be. They're slimmed down. It's supposed to be faster, and I read the same thing too. And I know some tech guys. I know they have their own PC repair shops, and they do push it. They do sell it.
and well, I think I heard this even before. Maybe it was 2005. I can't remember the exact date, but
I like AVAS too. Especially if I'm getting a real infected computer. If I can get it on there, I'll throw a lot of different things at it.
And now, for a while there, I used to use, as far as my family computers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what version it was. It wasn't Avast. It was
Avira.
AVG. Is that
AVG, that's another big one.
But I heard now they're not quite as good. Well, I'm talking about their free version. Their paid might be different.
I think they had a recent update. It did the same thing what one of the McAfee's update did not too a year ago, or I think they just had an update that kind of screwed some machines up. AVG not too long ago.
And I heard like they didn't with the AVG it didn't detect as many viruses. But I heard of Vast though a lot of good things about their as far as the free version. Like I said, I'm not sure about the paid on both sides, but
Yeah, and then malware. I use Malwarebytes and Super NA spyware, but it's just a free version. I don't, but I would like to. They're cheap enough that I would like to try Super NA spyware. I think you can get it for like $9. I think it's a lifetime license, and that the pay version will run in the background.
well now I've been hearing with the Microsoft Security Essentials that's supposedly very good. I don't know because I haven't used Windows in a while, but what do you think about the Microsoft Secure Essentials
Yeah, well,
antivirus?
that's what I'm using, and it does have their. I guess it's Defender. They do have I guess Windows Defender or whatever it's using in there. Um, I just don't. I just don't get infected unless I click on something by accident or. I was looking for a program like a couple weeks ago, and I did to install something, and wasn't paying attention. I mean, it wasn't antivirus, but it was one of those ones which I hate. I'm always taking off. They want to put a ton of toolbars on your browser, and I hate that.
Yeah.
And of course, I installed this, and even your malware will pick it up when you run it as not good stuff. And so I felt, oh man, I can't believe I did that. I forgot what I was looking at. I was trying to find some video editing software to make like cartoons out of actual pictures. So here's one. Here's a freeware one. So I go install it. Man, and then Internet Explorer had all these toolbars, extra toolbars in there. So that went off right away.
That's something I really hate is the toolbars and what the way they scam you into doing it is they'll check mark it automatically, and so sometimes you don't catch it. And when you download this program, and
I've even caught it before, and it installed it.
Yeah, and it's really aggravating, and then you got to uninstall it, and plus it takes it takes up a lot of your browser space, and we got Carlo, another toolbar hater. We ought to make a club, toolbar haters club.
Yeah, they're not good. I mean, they're sending out information, and that's why I think your antivirus is always or malware programs it's shown as spyware and stuff like that. But what I started using recently on my this one computer I worked on. I don't know if anybody heard of Woot or Web of Trust. What this is, you install it, and if you're doing a search, in a search engine, you're looking for whatever, and your search results, gives you a real easier configuration. It'll just give you a green circle if the site is okay, or a red circle. So if you're searching for something like you'll get 100 results or whatever it is on a page. So because a lot of times you go to these sites, you just go to some result that you searched for. And as soon as you click on it, it's too late. You get infected. You don't have to do anything wrong. So this kind of gives you a little warning. If it deems it's bad, it's going to have a red circle. You don't go there. So it's pretty easy to use. So I put that on. I'm trying to put that on a lot of computers I've been working on lately. It's called Web of Trust. So if you Google that, you'll see it.
Now is it is it an add-on or something like that?
Yeah, it's like a browser add-on.
Or extension or whatever they call it.
Yeah. You can put it on all platforms. You can put it on Chrome, Internet Explorer, or Firefox. And so I do have it on here. But so at least it will give you the ability to at least say, it's telling me it's got a red mark next to that site. I'm not going to go there. So.
And now I'm trying to remember if it's the Windows, but there's some browser I click on some site and it absolutely wouldn't let me go there. It had this dude with a hat, and it said it was, I don't know if it was in Windows or not. I think it was. I don't know if that was Defender or.
Yeah, I think I've had it too. It wouldn't let me, or it gave me I think I could click continue. I can't remember. I think I had that recently too. I don't know if it was on one of my machines or what. Yeah, but it could be your antivirus could be doing that, which is good.
Yeah. Now I think this is on my son's computer. It wasn't on my Mac or Linux as far as I know. But
And I think depending on what kind of firewalls you use, I don't know what kind of routers you use. I have a Netgear, and but I think that one I just worked on recently where I got something similar to what you were saying. I think he had
maybe it was the Netgear.
A Belkin router. I don't think I had that come up on mine. I can't remember, or did I? But it might be. But I use I don't know if this has anything to do with it. I use I don't use. I have Comcast for my internet service, but I'm not using their DNS servers. I'm using the free one. Oh, there's different free ones. What's the Uncle Al's in here? What am I using? Uncle Al? I forgot the name of it.
You're talking about the one for
Open DNS. I'm using those servers, but I didn't join. I'm not registered with them because if you could really, if I registered with them, I could really break it down.
You see, isn't OpenDNS like if you want to?
I think you can block certain sites out with certain words in it.
Okay, I might be thinking about something else. I know there was one that it changes your dynamic IP address to a static one or something like that. It gives you another one, or I don't know. I might be thinking something else. I don't know.
No, you're right, and that's called because I belong to them too. That is called what is that called?
Dyna DNS or something like that. Some weird.
DNY, yeah, because your ISP will change your. I think you got to pay for a static ISP. Static IP number, because mine will stay the same for the longest time. But when you have that site which you're talking about, it will automatically change. Like if you're using a website name or something like that, it will just change.
Well, see, a lot of internet service providers, they don't want you to really have a static because I guess they're afraid you're going to host websites and things like that. So they give you a dynamic, so it changes every once in a while.
Right.
Which kind of wreaks havoc because I use like Synergy that's dependent on the IP address, and it kind of screws with that. So.
Well, that's Synergy's locally. It's not shouldn't have anything to do with.
Well, I think Synergy though goes through the.
Internal. Yeah, I use that too. I use Synergy for. Let's say if I'm doing a stream, I'll have 2 computers or 3 or 2 computers, and I'll just have it. Synergy works with Linux too. That's what's good. But
it works through all of it. Yeah.
There's another one for Windows called Input Director. I even like that better because it lets me move files back and forth. Copy and paste. So that's pretty cool. But it doesn't work with Linux. But Synergy is really cool. They're both good programs.
Yeah, I think on Macs I'm using let me check. I think it's Synergy KM. I think I tried to use some other program and it was kind of difficult. So this was pretty easy because it's all in the preferences and then you can turn on or off and things like that.
Right.
And I haven't really used the Linux or Windows versions, but supposedly it's you can use it on separate computers. So
yeah, I had it on because I would have it on Linux and then I would do a stream, but I would have one of my machines Ubuntu on there, so I had it on there and I could do stuff in there. Just so you don't have to use 2 different keyboards and mice.
Well, I don't really use it as much. In fact, I think I have it still running. I used to have like another computer, the Mac Mini back here, and then occasionally I'd use that for audio or something like that. And I think it's.
What kind of mixer are you using? I think.
It's just a Mackie 8-channel.
Is that USB or?
No, it's just a regular
analog.
hardware. Yeah, analog.
Now, if you can answer this question, is there a benefit of getting a USB mixer as opposed to a analog?
You know what? Well, if you're going to be doing broadcasting like I know you did earlier today, I'd probably stick with analog, but
okay.
Perhaps if you're doing recording music or audio to the hard drive, that'd be okay, but I guess there's a way you could do it, but I don't really. I think the only thing with that is you're going to have a delay problem. Well, if you do it through the mixer, you got monitor headphones and you shouldn't have a delay. But on some USB audio devices, you will have a delay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, a lot of times you hear it from on the computer, you know, and it kind of throws you off because you kind of hear it delayed. It does
Oh,
me really big.
I didn't know that because I was wondering if, like, when we were talking the other day on your show, um, your Wednesday show, we were talking about, or chatting in the room about, I was getting I had a lot of problems with just getting these terrible sound effects. I mean, humming noise, whatever, and I got that ground loop isolator. I was wondering if it made a difference if you had an analog mixer or a USB, if that would help out somewhat getting a USB.
You know, for what I do is broadcasting, probably not. And it to me, I think it would be more of a a negative
Okay.
because you're kind of like encoding the audio, and then it gets into Wirecast, and then it's re-encoded, and then So I just prefer to do it straight analog into the sound card, and then it gets encoded by Wirecast. So
Gotcha. Because this is a low end. I think I paid $60 for it, and but I've had problems with it. Pretty much from day one. I mean, sometimes it'll sound
what
good.
brand is it, by the way? I don't know.
It's a Behringer 802 Xenix. It's a 8-channel.
It could be it could be how you set it have it set up because for a while I didn't use a hardware mixer because I didn't even really know how to set it up, and there was a YouTube video, and I'm trying to remember the name of
I live off of YouTube.
yeah, I think we all do. But there's this one guy that he does like an internet show, and he explained it so simply. I was like, man,
Right, that's probably the same. Did he have a Mac? Was he doing one on a Mac?
I think he did it 2 different ways. He had like one YouTube video was on software mixer, and another one how to set it up using a analog mixer hardware.
Steve, he's got some videos up there too, but his are like high end compared to what I have. He's got a huge mixer.
Well, the only thing, the bigger the mixer, the more inputs, the more, it can actually start getting pretty complicated because even the one I have now, oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I mean, all I got is just in and out, in and out. I just go from in from, or say out from one of my computers to the input, and then output to, my speakers, or I mean, the out and in and back into the computer. And so,
well,
I actually have three computers hooked up to it right now, and it's working. Except I only have the one computer on right now, but I do have 3 computers hooked up to it.
Well, do you have the if you like turn on the monitor, how in Wirecast you have the little audio meter and you have like the headphones, and if you click on that, do you hear like a audio echo?
Yes.
Well, as far as I know, that's correctly set up, but naturally you'll hear that. So okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
I play around with it. It's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, actually, it's kind of cool effect. I use it too. During Halloween, and if you have it set just right, it actually sounds kind of evil for Halloween. Works for me.
Yeah, we mess around with it. Well, my son, I'm playing with him, and he'll record me while I'm talking. While we're doing a broadcast thing, streaming, and he'll play it back, but he can change the speeds. It really sounds pretty horrible, actually.
And I also heard your wife didn't like the green screen. You were mentioning
she I mean, there's nowhere to put I had to put it attach it to my drop ceiling, and I had it there, and it's just kind of a pain to take it, put it up, take it down, put it up, take it down. So I think I only used it once, but it did work. But it was fun to play around with.
Yeah, I have to admit it was fun. I used it a lot during Halloween time, and actually, let me see. Sometimes I can get it work because I've got a background, and let me see if I can get it to work. Sometimes it's you may not hear any audio. Hold on.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry about that. No, see, I didn't think there's any audio on that. And I've been doing that. I keep on forgetting to do that every time with new, shots. I forget to put the audio in, then nobody can hear me.
Right. Well, there's a setting I have it like on I don't think I have to mess with it as long as I have, you know how you have the layers in Wirecast, and the sound is all, I have that all the way on the bottom. As long as I have that on, I think any shot I make, it's going to have sound, but I might be wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you set up your bottommost layer, I mean,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like,
you know, you have the newer version, version 4 has, you know, your layer 1, 2, 3, 4.
there might be a way to set it up where every shot.
Yeah, so I have that the very bottom one set up for my audio, and that's on all the time. So when I'm making a new shot, which is I think I had the third from the top for my videos, and when I have that on, the audio, I might be wrong, but the audio is going to automatically be on. I don't have to put a specific audio into that shot.
Yeah, so okay, there might be a way to do it. Well, in a way, I kind of like it better the way Telestream has it set up now, because before, when I go to my intro, or
Right.
different reasons, and then it doesn't hear. I won't have the the feedback loop, and so I kind of like the way Wirecast implemented.
Did you make your intro? 'Cause that's nice. And how did you make it? With what software? Oh, you did tell me you used the Mac.
Yeah, don't tell nobody, but I actually used iTrailers. Now it's a kind of secrets out already, but yeah, they got a thing came out now. I think it's the version. I think it's 11, and of course, yay, the new one. And I specifically got it for the new functions in iMovie, and iTrailers is one of them. And it's kind of cool because they got like maybe 15 different trailers to choose from, and all you gotta do is put in. I admit I'm not very good at audio or video editing. I'm getting better at it. And you just gotta put in your clips or your pictures and write in your text, and it pretty much does everything for you.
Yeah, so we have Movie Maker, I guess, for Windows, the free built-in one. Well, actually, you have to download it, I think, now for Windows 7. But I'm not sure we can do anything quite as elaborate as yours.
Yeah, I think Movie Maker. I don't know. Do you got transitions on Movie Maker now?
Yeah, there's transitions, but like I said, they're limited. I'm not that good. I mean, I've messed around with a little bit, but I imagine you could probably do some halfway looking decent things. All I've done was just put like text transitions mainly.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because usually I have more of a low level background. Hardware, operating system, drivers, terminal. Get me on Microsoft Word, I can barely type the words in, and that's about it.
Same as me.
And, video editing, well, I'm getting a little bit better now in iMovie, but anything else, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, when I went to moved to JTV site, and I had to take a crash course in HTML editing to get, if you don't, because it won't put in the sentences and paragraphs, it just makes it a one huge paragraph, so I had to do a crash course in HTML. So. Oh
yeah, your ending and closing brackets and all that stuff.
Yeah, if you scroll down, it'll give you the spaces, even the regular spaces. You got to do a little bit.
Now everything now is CSS and PHP and within CSS. I mean, it's all confusing to me now.
Shoot, now they're coming to these new web standards.
Give me WYSIWYG. That's all.
What do they call it? The really easy. Yeah, I think it was Wizzy. I don't know what it's.
WYSIWYG. Yeah, what you see is what you get.
Yeah. I admit I've used iWeb. It's a pretty good little program. Not very advanced, but it does the job.
Now I understand. Now I don't know if I should promote anybody, but if somebody wants us to do a website, they say go to, it's called Foursquare. They said it's the easiest thing to do. You don't have to know anything.
Now I do. There is one guy, and his I think it's Ronnie Rucker. I think he has a website on Squarespace, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see him in the chat room today, and I think his site's on Squarespace, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he went to sleep. That's the last tweet I saw from him. He was going to go to sleep for a while underneath a tree.
Yeah, because he's got his show coming up a little bit later on, I think.
It's like 1 o'clock my time, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
kind of
mine's at 12 midnight. Usually, like, if Scarecrow wants to watch it, he has to take a nap because I think it's like 1 a.m. for him.
I've been up there a few times. If I couldn't sleep, I came back on my computer, and and maybe I'm wrong, but I think he was kind of intoxicated a few times I saw him.
Nah,
Yeah.
actually, it's every time. It's,
Oh,
well,
okay. I wasn't sure.
yeah. Because usually, he has his bottle of wine, and I'm not sure what brand he uses. Well, I've been telling him, make his own brand of, wine or something. No, I'm not kidding. Actually, well, it's all tongue in cheek, well, no, he had this thing. I don't know if you guys seen the show, but he'll put this little thing in there where if you see it on the screen, everybody has to take a drink. And I think it was like a frowny face. He does it different ways. But it's kind of funny. Well, he comes up some very unique things. I wish I was that.
He's he plays music though on the show.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of it's music videos, but see, he does a combination. I think he does. My favorite is the Buzzkill because he does, I guess rants on certain things. And yeah, that is a fun show. And then he does.
I never listened to it more like 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah, it just depends because it comes on late.
He's either going off in a rant or talking about something I don't know what he's talking about. Or
yeah, it wasn't really made for kids. It's more of an adult show, I think. But it's kind of all in fun. So.
And he's in Hawaii, I believe.
Yeah, he's based in Hawaii.
Yeah, I bet she's not having no single-digit weather out there like we are right now.
I know. See, here it's really weird. It's like it doesn't want to know if it's going to be warm or hot. It's either really hot at one day and then really cold the next. So
when you say really cold, what temperatures are you talking about?
Probably like I think the temperature yesterday was like 40, 43, or one time it got down to 37.
That would be good for us. Yeah, this is as cold as it's been in a while. I guess in the single digits. Hey, Uncle Al, tonight.
Cold for the game. Now I don't have.
Uncle Al is pretty close to me. He's about 4 hours away from me. He's in Pittsburgh.
In fact, let me pull up my temperature real quick, and yeah, it's 46 right now. But see, tomorrow it could be like well, not 73, but it'll be might be 68 or close to warm, and then
So I don't know if you're a sports fan, Steve. I like my football, and Uncle Al, he's a Pittsburgh guy, so of course they beat my Baltimore Ravens last week, and so they're playing there tomorrow night, the Jets against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. And what's the temperature supposed to be tomorrow night, Uncle Al? It's going to be cold there.
And don't they have some big game? Isn't it like? No, I'm trying to think. It's a football.
Tomorrow's outcome will determine who's going to be in the Super Bowl.
Didn't they have one? It's like the Chicago Bears.
Chicago's playing Green Bay.
Yeah, now I heard that was going to be a rivalry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whoever wins that is going to the Super Bowl, and whoever wins between the Jets and the Steelers is going to the Super Bowl. They'll be playing each other.
And now I admit I'm not big into football or basketball. I like the weird sports, I guess. I don't know.
Crochet?
Like the skydiving and the lumberjack competitions and now I'm big on the Winter Olympics because I like the downhill slalom and the stuff like that, the luge. But yeah, I like all the weird sports, I guess. But
I don't know how we got off on that. I think the weather started doing that. But it's everything's related to technology in one way or the other.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm trying to think. Let me see. Well, I don't know about technology in sports. Now, I do know they use often they use a special program where like they actually analyze this a person's golf swing, and they can determine using the computer program. They do some kind of green screen where they put the little tennis balls on their head and the shoulders, and then they analyze it, and they say, well, okay, you're shifting your weight too soon, or
That's like how they use those animatronic or the like what was it like Avatar? They actually used movements from real people um, to get those characters to move. You know, the because it's animated in one way or another, but they're using actually human movements. That's kind of
Yeah,
fascinating.
the animatronics is, I think that's what they call it. Like the Disney World and.
Hmm.
Okay, well, probably, let me see what time it is. We got about 8:15 p.m. We're probably going to um, go ahead and stop the, well, as far as the guest. Thank you, what is that, Mitch,
Okay.
for coming on. And I did see him earlier today. And if you want to put anything in the chat room,
Yeah, yeah, you can. Here,
yeah, go ahead and
I
put
don't.
it in there if you could.
My Twitter is. Well, I don't post a whole lot on Twitter, but I do, and occasionally I read quite a bit, and you can follow me, or
And now I think you're primarily on JTV, right?
yeah, I haven't done anything really anything scheduled on Justin TV yet, but it'll be Justin.TV/Mitch1955. But I would post if whatever I do post on Twitter, so you'll know ahead of time if I do anything. Hey, I don't know. I'm thinking about doing something maybe on Fridays for a couple hours, but I want to try to, have some kind of topic to talk about.
Well,
Something not too over the head because I can't explain things over the head too well. If I get my son in there, he's a network engineer. I mean, I'm like going,
there you
what?
go. Just to have him on the show all
Oh,
the time.
I do a lot of times. But he's like, I don't. I got him in the computer 6 or 7 years ago. Now I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's done very well.
Okay, and I'll try to catch your show if it happens to be on Friday. Actually, today was kind of an accident because I didn't have Twitter up and you were on there. I was like, hey, there's Mitch. And then I came on for a while. So,
Right, I was checking out my new camera.
oh, yeah, your new Logitech C910, I believe.
Correct.